How's it going with you, Dale Bozzio?
All right. It's okay, moving right along. I just, all the time off with the COVID and everything was kind of a drag. It's pretty sad that everybody had to get sick and all these troubles that happened. And I just, want the world to get spinning better on top and hope everything improves for the people.
So it's like that you keep busy, in these
Yeah.
times.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm playing concerts and I'm talking about my book on a regular basis and just moseying along. The concerts really keep me going and I see all the people coming out now more than before. I think the doors are going to open up and the world's going to shake loose better now.
Good. We really hope so. Certainly in Canada as well. We need that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it took a minute to get this involved with it, so it's going to take a minute to get out of it, It's all good.
So Dale, let's say, life is so strange. Where do we start with a title like that? I mean, for your book, did you just come out with that, immediately?
Well, it was the line in the song of Destination Unknown. It's the first line, Life is So Strange. And some strange things happened to me when I was a younger person. I really wrote Destination Unknown about falling out a window in 1976. So it stems back to a lot of reasons of my character. But I feel life is so strange because, it's awkward and you never know what's going to happen next.
Yeah, so with all the titles you could have picked, you picked that one. Well, it's a good seller.
You're cute. Yeah. I say that a lot. Life is so strange. Yeah.
And, when we start having, names like Frank Zappa in a book and Prince and Missing Persons, of course. Certainly Prince, I mean, you're going to open up the market, let's say, with the Prince fans, that maybe didn't realize, you recorded, at Paisley Park and all that stuff.
Well, that's a good point. The record was recorded at Sunset Sound in Los Angeles, and I had a long love affair through a few years with Prince. We were very dear friends and close, and I don't think a lot of people knew that. No, they didn't. He was a little crass when he's kind of, when he gets mad at you, he got mad at you really good, and so he didn't hear about you, and no one else did hear about you. I made a record on his label, and it outsold what he was selling at the time, and he stopped the presses. He was a very quirky fella, and he did it his way, for sure. So, yeah, I did. I had an affair with Prince. I made a record on his label. He was a dear, kind friend to me. I know the world loves him, so we want to keep it that way. And he was just a secretive soul, He was... I think I had carrying a lot more on his shoulders than the world knew, and he had to express himself with that guitar, which is what he did, and his piano playing. He was a genius.
Absolutely.
So I wrote the book because I wanted people to know that I knew him so closely and dearly, and that he did a gracious favor for me to make me that record called Dale, and I want everybody to know that Prince just was a dear friend of mine, and what a gracious soul he was, contrary to maybe what other people think about him, and that I did not have a love affair with Frank Zappa. I only had a business relationship with him, a musician's relationship, which is kind of a love affair in itself, but
right.
Frank and I weren't like that. He taught me all about the music, and I absorbed everything I could to make myself shine in the light of Frank, and to show Frank that I was listening to what he told me. And then I wanted everybody to know that when I was 21. I fell out a window downtown LA out of the Holiday Inn Hotel, room 421, and I had a tragic accident. So I want to have the word out there so that maybe I can put some just things to the past and get the collection of all these photographs to show my friends and my fans, so they would have all the pictures in the book and have it all together in one place.
It's kind of like, moving on in the future and then, having your stuff, put at a library and a university, let's say. You publish it in a book, it's there, the fans get to see it.
Yeah. That's the thing. That's and it took a lot of work, and believe me, I cried, I laughed. It was an amazing journey for me to do this too, to accomplish it. It's important to set your mind to do something and then accomplish it is to really, you feel appreciative of yourself, and that's what we have to do. Be happy for what we do here on the planet.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's say, Dale, for you, being like a creator, let's say, of fashion, and, mixing it with a music, you're like the pioneer, let's say, for a certain style, certainly the new wave. Do you think that today's people are like kind of trying to match you in a sense in the last 20 years?
I think it's, with the different electronics and the different era that we have now, things are going to portray themselves differently. At the way back in the old days, people had to play the musical parts themselves and sing all the parts, and there weren't these electronic sort of advice, extra devices to make things sound different, better, blah blah blah. So you were stuck with how you really sound, and you were stuck to what you really were portraying. So it's a true test of your ability, really. For the past, 50s, 60s, 80s, whatever. I think the 90s changed everything with the electronics, and they blasted out and said, okay, we're going this way, we're going to do this, we're going to look outrageous, and we're going to sound perfect. And they did it, they did it. More power to them. I don't know how things would have been different for the missing persons people, because we didn't even have a cell phone back then, let alone selfies. We didn't have those types of devices to play with, so it would be interesting to see what the missing persons people could do today.
Right. And let's say, let's say in 10 years from now, where do you see like synth pop and stuff like that going? In general, or music in general?
Well, I think possibly it's going to go back to its own roots. I mean, eventually, what are you going to do? There's 8 notes. There's only so many devices you're going to put in here with batteries and concoctions.
Right.
After a while, where are you going to go? You're going to go back to the guitar, back to the piano. The music is music. There's just only so far you can stretch it. You can get creative, but it is what it is.
One thing I like to point out, your fashion was awesome in, Missing Persons and risque, let's say, at the time. But when you look at absolutely, and when you look at Terry Bozzio playing drums, now people today that are fans of him, because his drumming is its style of itself. Do you think back in the day the people looked at it and say, this makes the band even much better, because the drum styles are like so out of this world, and look how he's playing, taking like kind of your spotlight.
Terry obviously is a unique person, and his playing, he's the greatest drummer I think that there is in the world. But the matter of the fact is, Frank recognized that too in him. And Zappa looked at us one day, me, Terry Bozzio, and Warren Cucurullo, and said, you should put a band together and call yourselves Cute Persons. And we looked at him and said, well, we're going to quit you, Frank, so we're going to call ourselves Missy Persons, from Missing from Frank. And Pretty much, yeah. Terry was extremely unique, and I think that we all were. Warren, a genius on guitar. Patrick O'Hearn, incredible bass player. Same thing. He worked with Frank Zappa as well. So did Chuck Wild on keyboards, and we were all pretty smart cats. So when we all came together with what we did, we wanted it to be unique. We didn't want ourselves to sound like anyone else, or we didn't want to look like anyone else. So I made like abstract clothes to wear out of other products other than material, cloth. And then, and of course, Terry got creative with his drum set. He invented a drum set, and Warren invented a guitar. And we went pretty much, we got electronic after a while as well, and moved on with the future of music. But we didn't go this far into it. We broke up, and
Right.
so when we did, the fizzle out went in other directions for all of us. I ended up having 2 children. Terry went on and had another wife with a child, and Warren went in Duran Duran. So a lot of things happened to all of us over this century.
Yeah, in the century, and landing a Duran Duran gig ain't that bad at all.
Exactly. It gave the opportunity to, I think, all of us, including Chuck and all his music, Wild. He has music too, and we all went in different directions, and it had to happen. It had to happen. It's the future of us, and who knows? Maybe someday we'll be in the same room together. I don't know. Probably not.
What? Probably not. But let's say what's interesting is imagine how many people that need to hear your music and watch it, let's say on YouTube, and haven't even discovered you yet. I mean, that's incredible. I mean, just let's say like for Canadian fans, let's say for other countries, that maybe didn't have MTV back in the day. It's the list is huge. The possibilities of future stuff, the people discovering you like years later.
Yeah, well, that's very gracious of you to say that. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's just, that time moves on, and people do too. And our stories get so complicated, it's even hard to take out from the day to call your favorite friend. So, time moves on, and it sometimes moves away from the things that have drawn you together. It moves on. It moves on without you.
Yeah, and sometimes, for the people, and certainly the fans, they certainly appreciate the music.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your kind words. Well, if you want to get the book, you should go to Facebook/DaleBozzio.com. I can autograph it to you personally, or just autograph it and send it out to you as quick as possible. I know that everybody will be graciously happy about the book. It has a record in the back, a pink vinyl, so it's really a collector's item someday. And there are a limited amount that I have now, so hopefully you can talk, see if you can talk yourself into picking up a book, because it's a collector's item for sure.
I think I'm going to look into this too, because I mean, the career and the book, everything is incredible. Let's go for a second, playing the biggest festival in U.S. history, in my eyes, US Festival. I mean, I'm sure that was the best feeling in the world at the time.
Oh, outrageous. Oh, yes. I walked out there in the sunshine of that day, looked over all these people. It looked like an ocean. It looked like the ocean. I didn't even move. It didn't even look like people. And the sound there was unbelievable. It was so loud. So loud. And so many people. I just was flabbergasted. And I turned after the show. I looked at the Terry and Warren and said, "Well, it's all downhill from here, kids."
Yeah, when you play something like that.
And all the great musicians that were there, David Bowie, rest his soul, and just so many incredible people that were there that day. You too. So I had an incredible awareness of what the business was about. And yeah, that was kind of all downhill from there. There's no way we ever played for that amount of people. It was just never happen again. So that was an incredible feat and an amazing piece of history to be with. Yeah, and I see it on there on the YouTube. It's just pretty amazing, you know, that all of us little skinny kids were rocking out.
Yep, and like even watching that video, it's incredible just to see. Let's say even any band that played that stage. Just when you look at the audience, it's like a sea of people. It's incredible.
Yes, really overwhelming, really emotionally overwhelming, and it's just something you never forget. Even if you were in the crowd or on the stage or a part of it, just even to see it on TV, it was just an amazing event. You kind of like that Woodstock. Woodstock was one of those as well. I didn't get the opportunity to go there, but wow, I just think to myself, oh my goodness gracious, what an event. So, I'm sure there'll be others, and just one of those things, just a person that had that idealistic view, and he made it happen,
right.
And that's, so we were all lucky to be part of it.
And Dale, let's say, talking about, classic videos and stuff like that, in your own personal collection or people I'm sure there's some concerts, more footage that we haven't seen yet. Would you agree?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, I'm sure from the past, people might have taken, I don't know, when I was growing up in the music business, people weren't running around with cameras or videos or telephones. To professionally hire those kinds of people,
yeah.
Photography or video cameras, set up crews, or you had to hire those sorts of things, and that was very high priced, and there really wasn't people weren't going around making videos of things in the 70s. It just wasn't happening. So I guarantee you, there's a lot of footage that didn't get got. Did not. So whatever is available now that's on the YouTube, believe me, they struggle and straggle and pull it out of wherever it's been. Because there's not a lot of footage way back then from what there was. There's the videos, because they were professionally made. But other than that, all the backstage footage and stuff like that, maybe the big wigs like Zappa, he had things going on because he did make that movie Baby Snakes.
Right.
There's a slight glimpse of me in his movie, but really, I don't know who made a movie, but that really wasn't the happening. Was photographs by special photographers and such, But I don't think there's a lot of footage out there. Not really, no. And I definitely never did any sex tapes, so that ain't happening.
Well, that's good to know. I mean, you revealed it, so we all know now.
That's right.
Dale, it's been a real pleasure talking to you, just so you know, and
it's very, very kind of you to share your time with me, and I love your accent. It's just so wonderful, and I'm sure you'll enjoy the rest of the day. Probably sunnier there than here, but thank you for listening to all, and thank you for entertaining me today. I really appreciate your expertise in putting yourself to the writing pad and pencil, really, and taking the time out to really be concerned with what I do. I really appreciate it, and I thank you very much. My daddy always said, if they're talking about you, it's a good thing. No matter what they say, as long as they're talking about you. I don't know what he really meant, but it's all good, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
So I hope I made you laugh and feel a little better today than yesterday. Okay?
Absolutely. Well, you have a beautiful day, and talk to you again.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, yes, for sure. Thank you so much, and I love you. Thank you for thinking of me. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.